Hello, my name is Maurice Jacinti, and this is the video presentation for the ULift application for the class project for CSE 335, Spring 2017. The main idea behind the application is to allow users to track their workout progress, look for gyms nearby, and see specific data analytics tied to their profiles. This project was developed using Swift 3.0. As for the data persistency, I decided to register the app under Firebase and use their storage and database functionalities as well as authentication and registration, which in turn allowed Facebook and Google integration. The main capabilities of ULift, as seen in the list displayed here, are basic session functions such as registering, logging in and out using Facebook and or Google. Workout functionalities such as starting and scheduling or finishing a workout, as well as exploring a list of workouts depending on their type. Exercise capabilities such as creating an exercise, adding sets to that exercise, and exploring from a list of available exercises based on their muscle categories. And last, but not the least, user enhancements like profile features, fitness preferences, or progress details.
Going to just basically dive into the demo. This is the individual screen of the application. I'm gonna exit that and just show you guys how the logo looks in the in an iPhone and iPhone 7. So it looks just like this in the right hand side corner. You can tap on that. That'll take you in the same screen that I showed you before. You can log in with Facebook or Google, which I'm going to log in with Facebook. It's going to ask you to log in regularly and authorize the application. I already have done that, so I'm going to click OK. That's going to log you in. The button's going to change to log out. So I'm going to dive into the explanation of how the application is structured, basically into 5 different components: the dashboard, controller, exercises, gyms, workouts, and settings. We're now in the dashboard controller with 2 different pretty much statistical views of the application: the pie chart view, which you can see here, and the classical view. You have the option to specifically log out of the application directly, clicking on the upper left hand side here. You can log out directly or cancel, or you have the option to click on your Facebook profile picture that's retrieved by the application, go into user detail controller that displays the birthday, email, phone, school, and other details of pretty much your profile, and you have the option to change those or add some more. So I'm going to change the phone number, and I'm going to pretty much remove it by changing it. And I'm going to change the profile picture just to showcase how that's done. I'm going to choose this picture here. So now we remove the phone number and we change the profile picture. I'm going to save this information. As you can see here, the dashboard controller has been updated. Now we have one less feature. Both views have been updated, and we have a different profile picture, as you can see here. So we can go in the settings controller, and you can see 3 different pretty much sections of it: profile information, fitness information, individual preferences. Profile information is pretty much what I showed you before. Fitness information displays just basic fitness information, and individual preferences displays important things such as the measurement system, user privacy, and location preferences. It's important to note that when you change the measurement system, so let's say we change it from US customary as it was before to metric, the fitness information is going to get converted to the metric system, kilograms and centimeters, and so will the current height and weight on the dashboard controllers, as you can see here. So let's go into the workouts controller, and you can see that we have different options here to see the completed workouts, a list of the scheduled workouts and the current workouts. So let's see a list of the completed workouts. So we have a bunch of completed workouts with their names. We're not going to go in their details because we're not able to since they're already completed. But what we can do is actually schedule a workout, and we can name that workout and specify the start and the end dates. So let's say demo schedule here. So right now your workout was successfully scheduled. So if you go back in the dashboard controller, now we have 1 scheduled workout. And if we go back in the workouts controller, we can go in the workouts list, and now we have the demo schedule that the demo workout schedule. We can tap on it, and that will take us to a view where we can add exercises, where we can add gyms, add a workout node, or pretty much change the start and the end dates, as you can see here. Okay, so I'm just going to add an exercise, and it's going to be bicep curls, for example, and number of reps and weight. Add a set for that exercise, and then I'm going to start the current workout. So that'll remove it from the scheduled workouts, and it's going to move it to the current workouts. So see, the demo schedule was moved to the current workouts. Now if we go back and we go in the gyms tab, pretty much the workouts in progress are two, because in the workouts controller and in the workouts list, I have two workouts that I'm currently working on. So I can finish the demo schedule, let's say, and I want to finish that. And as you can see, that's successfully finished, removed from the current workouts list. And if you go on the completed workouts list, as you can see here, the test demo workout has been successfully completed. So going back here, now this list has been updated because we pretty much finished the workout that we're working on before. But we can go back in the gyms controller. I can show you that it pulls the current location that I'm on, that I'm at, so pretty much Tempe, Arizona in this case. And you have the option here to go and explore locations that are gym locations that are next to your current location. So in this case, gyms that are in Tempe, Arizona. But I can also change this location, and I can put a location, let's say in New Jersey. So let's put this address in New Jersey here. And it's going to change the map, display the location, and if you go in the Near Me tab here, it's going to go and pull gyms that are next to that specific location that you're looking at, that you chose. So that's about it for the gyms tab. And going to the exercise tab, this is the tab that takes the most to load, specifically because it pulls information from an external API, which retrieves data related for exercises divided into four categories, mainly the arms category, the back category, chest and shoulders category, and also the legs and abs category. It's going to pull exercise information such as the exercise picture and also the exercise name, just for a better visualization of the exercises that you could do and add to your workouts. So we'll wait for a second for it to load. So I'll just load it here. As you can see, you can explore arms exercises, for example, as well as like get a visualization of how the exercise will look, and the pictures will get updated as you go down the list. You can switch categories. So now we're in the back section. You can go in the chest and shoulders section or in the legs and abs section. And I'm going to just prove that I maintain a user session. So I'm going to exit the application. Now I'm going to go back into it. So as you can see, I don't have to log in again because I haven't logged out. So I can log out. And it's going to ask me confirmation. And that's the end of my demo.
Diving in the class diagram, I decided to split it into two parts, mainly involving, on one hand, the controllers and views, and on the other hand, the data modeling. Here, the first one is shown, so I will just highlight various components as I go through this. As showcased in the demo, the application starts off with the logo controller that you can see here in the top of the screen. It's really small, it says logo controller, which allows users to log in. That then transitions into the home controller, which is kind of like a little controller towards the center of our diagram here, which is shown here. And from here, the user has 5 different options to choose from, and they're showcased in this diagram as 5 different classes, namely the dashboard controller, the exercises controller, the gyms controller, and the workhouse controller, and also the settings controller. They can have, so each one of these controllers can have various functionalities of the app included in them, such as table view integrations, collection views, or segmented controllers. Each one of these controllers also have subclasses linked to them by using, defined here by using relationships. These specific classes can have an aggregation of other classes, since some of them can be made up of different components. The aggregations are noted in this diagram just as regular relationships, but with a little diamond on one end, instead of a regular filled-in arrow. Usually when a controller has a class that it aggregates, in my case, and as shown as in the diagram, then that class is part of the views of the application. For example, the exercises controller has a menu bar that displays the different types of categories for the available exercises, that is represented by its own collection view class, that in turn has many menu cells as shown as a collection view cell class here attributed to it. So if you scroll in and you zoom into this diagram, you can get a better visualization of what I'm talking about. Each exercise category is its own table view that contains different cells containing details about individual exercises, showcased in the diagram as an exercise cell class, which is actually a table view cell class. Now I know this is a lot to take in and this is a big diagram, but there's no other way for me to showcase this. So I attached actually a picture of this whole class diagram for anyone to be able to zoom in and see more details about. So then we're going to move on to the class diagram. For the data model in this case, I chose to construct a diagram representing the data model of my application as well. This was done since the previous diagram was pretty big, as I said before, and I wanted to present the main data objects that my application used in more detail. As you can see here, and it was mentioned before, the application uses workouts, exercises, and gyms as main concepts to construct the classes and objects. I chose to pursue a concept similar to the one used in Java applications, which takes POJOs that are Java objects, in this case Swift objects or classes, and builds interfaces which contain different methods using them that are denoted as POJOs, that are denoted as DAOs. My bad. And this application is shown here in the diagram. I have a user class that has different features that describe the user profile, which has a user DAO attributed to it here at the top and displayed here through aggregation. In a similar fashion, we have a workout class that has a workout DAO interface to the middle, or a workout history class that is constructed in the same fashion to it's at the bottom right hand side corner of this diagram. A workout contains multiple exercises shown in the middle here, or gyms, which in turn can contain multiple exercise sets. The data model described here is the bread and butter of the database functions in my application. All the databases retrieval, editing, and saving is done here, as well as the API calls in order to abide to the MVC architecture model. In a similar fashion, we have the MVC architecture diagram shown here. As I mentioned before, the application is split between the views, controllers, and data model. The data model contains most of the Firebase stuff in it. It defines classes and objects and translates them to the Swift objects. It talks to the controller, and the controller talks back to it through updates and notifications that pertain to data updates, edits, additions, or deletions. Basically, anything that is changed by the controllers through the UI functionality is what these two components communicate to each other about. The controllers are the ones that handle data received from the users and filters that in order to accommodate either UI changes or data changes. This fetches a bunch of other things such as nearby gyms or exercises by category while also handling user interactions. The views are pretty much the UI elements that the user has access to and that he or she can interact with. This includes buttons, segmented controllers, table view, or collection views. A feature of the views is that they facilitate the use of charts which display fitness-related analytics for a specific user. The views notify the controllers of any user actions which would need some updates and specific transitions, while the controller facilitates any updates while the user is going through the application UI, such as updating a table view look or removing a specific workout table view cell, for example, from a list of scheduled workouts when that workout is being completed. As for the limitations of the application, since I aim to release it in the App Store, I still have some work to do, such as allowing users to add specific exercises into their current workouts or retrieving directions to a favorite gym from the current location. I also plan on restricting users to have only one workout that they are doing at a time, and to somehow check on the accuracy of the start and the end dates for their workouts. So this is like a more detailed list, as you can see here on the screen with what I just said, and even more limitations that I think my app would need some work on before being released. At the end, I feel like I learned a lot in this class, and that I made some pretty good decisions which helped me almost completely finish an application that would go in the App Store and that millions of people would have access to. I learned that starting ahead of time is really important, and that the practice that we got from this class through the exercises, labs, and homework are very crucial in being able to successfully take those concepts and put them together into a real-world application. I also acknowledge how crucial learning core data in CloudKit is in understanding some other types of databases like Firebase, the one that I am using, and that is also being used by many other successful applications in the store, such as Shazam, for example. As for the improvements and suggestions that I have for the teachers in the department that would maybe help students who decide to take this class and attempt to develop an app similar to this one, I think that there should be more time allocated for development. In my opinion, this project should be assigned at the beginning of the semester so that every programming practice that is being taught in this class can be gradually incorporated in a bigger project. Other than that, Since Firebase is widely used by many companies out there in the industry and it's free, I would vouch to see this taught at ASU, and thus I would also vote for CloudKit or Core Data to be presented a little bit earlier in the curriculum for this class. So that's about it for my presentation. I hope you liked it, and you have a nice day.